You know, the AI market is getting super crowded. It seems like every week there's a new model claiming to be the smartest one yet. So how does a newcomer even stand a chance? Well, it helps if you've got a secret weapon. And the new model from Alibaba, Qwen-3 Max, has a skill that is truly unexpected.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about its shocking performance in a very unique competition. Then, we'll look at how it actually has two different brains. After that, we'll check out its standard report card, the usual scores. Then we'll see how it actually holds up in some real-world tests. And finally, we'll try to figure out what this all really means.
So what is this surprising skill we're talking about? Well, it's not about writing better poems or generating code faster. No, this is about what happens when you take the training wheels off and ask an AI to manage a real portfolio with real money on the line.
This is pretty much the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or in this case, a $10,000 one. There's this competition called the NOF1 AI Arena, and it does exactly that. It pits all the top AI models against each other in a live, totally autonomous trading competition to see who actually comes out on top.
And wow, the results are just staggering. Just take a look at this leaderboard. Qwen-3 Max isn't just squeaking by with a win, it is absolutely dominating with an almost 80% return. And meanwhile, look at some of the biggest names in the game. GPT-5, Gemini, they are losing catastrophic amounts of money. We're talking nearly 70% losses.
So how on earth is it doing this? If you look closely at the win rate column, something really interesting pops out. Its win rate is almost identical to Claude's sonnets. They both win their trades about a third of the time. This tells us something absolutely crucial. Winning isn't just about how often you're right, it's about how you win, and maybe even more importantly, how you lose.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? Qwen-3 Max is following the classic trading mantra, let your winners run and cut your losers short. Its single biggest win was almost 2.5 times its single biggest loss. Now look at GPT-5. It did the exact opposite. Its biggest loss was more than double its biggest win. This isn't just luck. It points to a really deep, strategic grasp of risk management.
So as if being a stock market genius wasn't enough, Qwen-3 Max has another trick up its sleeve. See, it actually comes in two different flavors. You've got the standard model, and then there's the special version, designed for unbelievably complex reasoning.
The best way to think about it is like this. The standard model is your brilliant, all-around general practitioner. But this thinking version, that's the world-class specialist you call in when a problem seems totally impossible. It actually uses tools like code interpreters to break down problems and, well, to think them through step by step.
And this specialist is an absolute beast. It got perfect 100% scores on some of the hardest, high-level math competitions that exist. We're talking about exams designed to stump the brightest human minds on the planet, and Qwen-3 Max thinking just aced them. It's an incredible display of raw logical power.
Okay, so we've established it's a financial wizard and a mathlete. But what about all the normal, day-to-day stuff? Let's take a quick look at its general intelligence, its speed, and of course, what it costs compared to everyone else.
All right, so on this general intelligence index, which kind of smashes a bunch of different benchmarks together, it scores a very respectable 26. To put that in perspective, the average for other models in its price range is about 19. So yeah, it's definitely a solid, smart, all-around performer.
But, and there's almost always a but, right? There's a bit of a trade-off for all that brain power. It's a little on the slower side. It generates text at about 51 tokens per second. A token is basically a word or a piece of a word. So this is just how fast the AI can write. And that 51 is below the average of 61 for similar models. So it's not sluggish, but it's not a speed demon either.
And what about the price tag? Well, it's actually pretty competitive. At $1.20 per million input tokens, it's what you'd call moderately priced. It comes in below average for a proprietary model with this level of smarts, so you're getting a pretty good balance of price and performance.
So, let's recap. We've got a smart, strategic, and reasonably priced model that's just a little on the slow side. But you know, benchmarks and leaderboards, they only ever tell part of the story. What happens when you actually put its two different brains to work on the exact same task?
Well, one YouTuber did exactly that, and they walked away with a pretty surprising conclusion. Let's dig into why the super smart specialist brain isn't always the best tool for the job. And what they've found is just fascinating. For creative coding challenges, like building a simple TV interface or animating some bouncing balls, the advanced thinking version just failed.
It would produce a blank screen or a glitchy animation. But the standard, non-thinking version, it nailed them. Perfect results. It's like the specialist brain can sometimes overthink creative problems. Kind of like asking a brilliant surgeon to paint a landscape. The tools are too precise for the task.
It's also really important to remember that this whole specialist versus generalist idea is something Alibaba is exploring across an entire ecosystem of models. Qwen-3 Max is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. They've also released versions for understanding images, for ensuring AI safety, and even open source models that developers can run right on their own machines.
So, after seeing its incredible trading skills, its genius-level math abilities, and its weird quirks when it comes to creative coding, what's the big takeaway from all this?
Well, Qwen-3 Max is a really powerful reminder that a model doesn't have to win every single benchmark to be revolutionary. It can carve out an incredibly valuable niche for itself just by being exceptionally good at very specific, high-stakes tasks, whether that's financial strategy or high-level mathematical reasoning.
And this all brings us to one final, crucial thought. For years, this whole race has been about building one single AI that's the best at everything. But maybe that's the wrong goal entirely. Perhaps we should all stop asking which AI is the best and start asking a much more useful question. Which AI is the right tool for this specific job? Because as Qwen-3 Max clearly shows us, in a world full of generalists, sometimes a specialist is exactly what you need to truly innovate.